My movie of the week, something I loved, something I enjoyed. It did not blow me away quite as I thought it would, but it definitely still delivered. Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Martin Scorsese movie, the newish. I mean, it came out in October of last year, so not really new, about 5 months old. Because I'm cheap and I didn't want to spend $20 on this, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. I'm kind of glad I just got the month of Apple and was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. No, it was very good. It was I think, like, compared to The Irishman, it was far superior to The Irishman. It was a more interesting time period, and that was kind of the thing that kind of was lacking of The Irishman. I felt like it was basically him doing Goodfellas again, but like doubling the length, and obviously it was a different story, but like it was that same kind of vibe. Like, we're even going to use all the same actors and just do a really shitty job de-aging them. And this movie, he didn't do any of that. I really think he probably kind of learned from that. It was an intriguing story. It was something that I personally didn't know about before this movie happened. So it was interesting to learn that historical aspect. Watching like the complexity of, him and his wife's relationship while he's helping his father like take over the family and the wealth, but at the same time he also he seems to be in love with this girl at points, but then he's not. It's really interestingly done in that way, and it was intense. Like there was a lot of death. I mean, way more. I mean, from the title you're gonna guess, right? But just a really interesting movie. It was long. It was a little long. And this kind of brings me into something I want to talk about too, with a lot of these directors, and even Tarantino, I think, to an extent. Like, a lot of these guys that were really hot in the 80s and the 90s, Spielberg's another good example. Like, there's a point where they just have done too much, and they have like an overabundance of resources to just create these things that are just massive and like way too long. Like, they're utilizing the ease of digital and all that to just like overdo it, right? Like, I'm a big believer in like the 90-minute, 100-minute movie. Like, really trying to keep your audience in it for a certain amount of time, and not having to rely on, okay, like, I'm going to give you this 3.5-hour epic and you're going to watch just because I'm Martin Scorsese, right? And like, in this time it worked. Like, I genuinely sat through that 3.5 hours like, okay, this is the shit. This is actually a good movie. But it just, I guess my point is, like, I feel like we're kind of in an age with this generation of directors where it's getting to be a little bit too much. It's getting a little bit flown or fooled or whatever. You know what the fuck I mean, right? And this isn't even necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's exciting in a way. I think we're going to see a lot of new innovation. I think a lot of these newer directors, Ari Aster, etc., directors, Paul Thomas Anderson, we are going to start seeing the same kind of thing happen.